And it's time for Flashback, a recap of stories which made headlines during the week. And we'll begin on Monday, where Buruku Commercial Community, the headquarters of Jos South Local Government area of Plateau State, was thrown into confusion as rampaging hoodlums burnt down cars and torched buildings. The incident followed an attack on a task force responsible for enforcing Executive Order 003 in the state.
The Bukuru community in the Jos South Council area of Plateau State was thrown into a state of fear and confusion Monday afternoon after rampaging hoodlums destroyed several cars and razed buildings. The violent reaction was said to have started when operatives of the Jos Metropolitan Development Board visited the area to implement the Executive Order 003, recently signed by the state governor on achieving the Great Jos City Master Plan. The angry youths armed with dangerous weapons resisted the security operatives, who resorted to violence, leading to the burning of cars, shops, and properties belonging to customers in the commercial area. Eyewitnesses say about 10 vehicles parked within a supermarket in the area were razed. The swift reaction of the police authorities to the area helped in controlling the situation, as confirmed by the spokesperson of the Plateau State Police Command, Alfred Alabo. The Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang has condemned in very strong terms the attack on the task force responsible for enforcing the executive order. He called on security agencies to swiftly apprehend all perpetrators and ensure that they face justice without delay. From Joshua, TVC News, Jos.
Well, in another development, on that same day, the Nigerian Air Force released a statement saying more than 80 terrorists at a hideout in Gidankare village of Rowan Godia ward in Faskare local government area of Katsina were confirmed dead and 45 motorcycles burned. In a statement by the top Air Force spokesperson, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gatkwet, the strikes were necessary following intelligence that terrorists numbering more than 100 were reported to have burned houses at a settlement about some 5 kilometers away from Gidankare village. Mr. Gatkwet said air strikes by the air component of Operation Andarindaji have continued to record the expected outcome, as several terrorists have been killed with their motorcycles destroyed. And the political crisis in Rivers State deepened on Tuesday when Governor Fubara directed administrative heads of state, to take charge of 23 local government areas following the expiration of the 3-year tenure of the council chairman. Governor Fubara gave the directive in the state broadcast in Port Harcourt, Rivers State capital, and what we saw afterwards were large crowds barricading the entrance of Port Harcourt City local government area, as well as in some parts of the state. And there was sporadic shooting when police clashed with the crowd demanding the exit of council chairman from the office in Port Harcourt. However, the police called on both sides to exercise restraint pending the outcome of the case in court.
As we move forward in making sure that the Constitution of the Federal Republic is upheld and that law and order is maintained, as we continue to strive to provide leadership and direction for our people, I hereby direct head of local government administration to continue to provide leadership in their respective local government areas.
And splashback to Wednesday in Rivers State, where the governor, Similalayi Fubara, insisted his government will not allow the tenure elongation of local government chairmen to succeed. He warned against the move at the swearing-in ceremony of caretaker committees for the 23 councils.
Chairmen of caretaker committees converged on the executive chamber of the government house in Port Harcourt to be sworn in immediately after their screening by the Oko Jumbo-led House of Assembly. They are taking over the mantle of local government leadership under controversial circumstances. With the expiration of the 3-year tenure of the council chairman, Governor Fubara says he is sworn to protect the 1999 Constitution.
We will not allow a wrong precedent to be created in this country. It is not about Rivers State. It's not about Fubara. But if in any way this attempt of tenure elongation succeeds in Rivers State, it becomes a norm in Nigeria.
Governor Fubara describes the resistance to setting up caretaker committees as an attempt to blackmail his government. But he assured that local government elections would be conducted soon.
We have more than 85% of the states in Nigeria that are being run by caretaker. Ours is different. You have your tenure. You have completed your tenure. It is proper. You let go.
Governor Fubara also gave the Auditor General of the state 1 month to probe the local government accounts for the last 3 years.
On that same day, the 5th President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, was sworn in for a second term in office. President Bola Tinubu was one of the more than 18 heads of state that witnessed the inauguration.
President Bola Tinubu attended this presidential inauguration not only as the leader of Africa's most populous country or the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, but as the president of a country that played a significant role in liberating South Africa from the apartheid regime in June 1991, before the multiracial election in 1994. The Republic of South Africa returns to the Union Building for the inauguration of Cyril Ramaphosa for a second term in office, the same place Nelson Mandela took the oath of office 30 years ago. The Rainbow Nation is also celebrating 3 decades of unbroken democracy. Winning re-election for Cyril Ramaphosa was not a walk in the park. The 71-year-old was re-elected by fellow MPs with 283 votes, seeing off a surprise challenge by Julius Malema, the firebrand leader of the radical left-wing economic freedom fighters, whose candidacy gained 44 votes. President Ramaphosa admits that unless the government addresses deep inequalities, the country could become unstable.
Those who seek to stand in our way, those who seek to inflame tensions in our country, will not succeed.
The re-elected president of South Africa also acknowledged the voices and messages of his people through the ballots and says their will be done through greater dedication to democratic renewal for better social and economic gains.
Nothing will distract us from serving the people and advancing their interests. Now is the time to move forward. Together, we will and we can do more and better as South Africans.
The inauguration was also a display of military might as the army rededicated themselves to protecting the nation and its democracy. For Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, beyond traveling to Pretoria, he will also explore prospects and opportunities in strengthening trade ties and improving bilateral relations. Femi Akonde, TVC News.
And still in the week under review, the Federal High Court in Kano on Thursday nullified the reappointment of Muhammadu Sanusi II as the 16th Emir of Kano. The presiding judge, Justice A.M. Liman, ordered the parties involved to maintain status quo pending the determination of the case.
It's another day full of legal battles to settle disputes arising from the Kano Emirate tussle. At the Federal High Court, parties have arrived as both the 15th and 16th Emirs of Kano, Aminu Bayero and Muhammadu Sanusi II, await a decision. The presiding judge, Justice Abdullahi Liman, during his ruling, declares the Kano Emirate Council Repeal Law 2024 as valid, but all actions carried out by Governor Abba Yusuf following its passage as null and void. This could imply that the appointment of the 16th Emir Sanusi II is invalidated by the court. Justice Liman further ordered all parties to maintain the status quo and say,
the court has nullified all steps taken after the order it made, and that those steps were taken in breach of the court order, and that is all. Subsequently, the court has granted stay of proceedings. Since the matter is before the Court of Appeal, no court can take any further steps until the Court of Appeal determine the case at the appeal before it on the issue of jurisdiction.
The action of the state, that is the Kano state government, the first defendant and the fourth defendants are null and void. I don't know which of the action he's referring to. He hasn't specified any of the action that he's talking about. And apart from that, he doesn't have the, to my understanding, the law, that is the order of contempt, doesn't permit any of action to be declared null and void. Only what you need to commit the person to contempt.
We trust in Allah. Today, 20th, we have heard the judgment or the ruling of this court. This ruling is wonderful.
Additionally, Justice Liman granted the respondent's application for a stay of proceedings pending the hearing and determination of a related case on jurisdiction at the Court of Appeal. Consequently, the case has been transferred to Federal High Court 3 for further proceedings. The Kano State Police Command had called on residents to remain peaceful and patriotic as the courts continue with efforts to resolve the complicated and sensitive matter. Ibrahim Isa, TVC News, Kano.
And a few hours after that ruling, the Kano State government directed the Commissioner of Police to remove the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Bayero, from the Nasarawa GRA mini palace where he lives. During a press conference, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Haruna Didiri, noted that the government had concluded arrangements for the reconstruction and renovation of the property.
The Kano State government has directed the State Commissioner of Police to remove the deposed Emir of the 8 metropolitan local government areas from the government property where he is trespassing, as government has already concluded arrangements for the general reconstruction and renovation of the property, including the demolition and reconstruction of the dilapidated wall fence with immediate effect.
And still on that day, following a resurgence of cholera in some states, the state government saw the number of deaths recorded rise from 15 to 21, while the number of infections increased from 350 to 401. Special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Health, Dr. Kemi Oguyemi, said the rise in cases was anticipated following the Eid-el-Kabir celebration in which large gatherings occurred. She noted that suspected cases are subsiding across local government areas, particularly in previously affected local government areas due to the state government's interventions and surveillance efforts. A flashback to Friday in Ogun State, where the government confirmed an outbreak of cholera claimed the life of a 62-year-old woman with 5 persons hospitalized. Ogun State Commissioner for Health, Tomi Koka, said the incident happened in Ijebu-Igbo, Ijebu North local government area of the state. And speaking with TVC News, the Health Commissioner, Dr. Koka, said the state is ready to contain the outbreak.
As we were approaching the rainy season, we had put plans in place. We had strategically set up treatment centers and had a rapid response team in all our 20 LGAs. Those treatment centers with pre-positioned antibiotics, IV fluids, zinc, and all the commodities that are required to deliver quality healthcare. And all this is very.
And finally, on flashback, NNPC CEO Mele Kyari on Friday assured that the Ajaokuta-Kaduna Kano gas pipeline project will will be completed by the end of the first quarter of 2025. The federal government highlighted the project's economic and industrial impact during a visit by 3 cabinet ministers to the River Kaduna crossing site.
The continuation and fast-tracking of the Ajaokuta Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline project is aimed at revolutionizing Nigeria's economy and industries. It is a 614-kilometer, 40-inch pipeline from Ajaokuta to Kano, designed to transport natural gas to off-takers in Abuja, Kaduna, and Kano. 3 key ministers and the group CEO of NNPC visited the River Kaduna crossing site on Friday to monitor its progress. They highlighted the project's alignment with the president's economic strategy and the federal government's decade of gas.
We must commend the entire team that has brought this project to this stage. And as I say, they're within distance of the finishing line, and it should give all Nigerians confidence in our own ability to do our own projects, bring partners in to help, and grow this economy and create jobs for Nigerians.
Consistent with the president's mandate, this will be delivered in record time, and the benefit to Nigerians will of course be seen very shortly. Just recall that when you work on gas, Nigeria is actually not just a petroleum country, it is also a gas country.
Energy security will be guaranteed. We are working towards expanding this project to other parts of the country, so that at the end of this administration, we will have gas in every state of the Federation. We have gas in every home.
The AKK project and the presidential initiative on compressed natural gas have already attracted over $50 million in private investments. The NNPC Group CEO, Mele Kyari, assured of completion of the AKK gas pipeline project by the end of the first quarter of 2025.
No engagement I have with the president that he does not mention the delivery of the AKK project, and we are very, very happy that this is happening and will deliver it.
The governor of Kaduna State emphasized the project's potential to revitalize industries in Kakuri industrial area and boost local economic growth. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.